Chapter 10. Group was very small and quiet. Frank and Fawn were officially relocated to their new program. Arnie had recently gone through another paranoia crisis and was absent. Cameron was in a foul mood, and except for occasional glances of anger, Rebecca was withdrawn. On the day she left, Fawn had shared her journal entry with certain members of the staff. John now held a copy of that entry. For the sake of encouragement, he shared parts of the letter with the group. When it's all over, it's hard to remember what you said and how you said it. I wouldn't want to talk or be the way I was before I came to Clearcreek. Too many people suffered, including myself. Part of that was because I put people off, talking that way, almost consciously forcing them out of my life. It would have been impossible to let on how I truly felt. It's still hard, but at least I want to try. While I was putting you off, I really wanted you to know, but I couldn't come out with it. That was too risky. I said things in a special way, hoping you'd take special notice. I designed my words, yet I was also hinting. I was hiding, but I was in prison, a caged place I had made for myself. I didn't know how to get out. I kept throwing keys, and fortunately there were people there who took the time to find the lock. Fawn's words motivated John to continue with his best efforts. That afternoon, in an attempt to redress Rebecca's distant behavior, he directed her into a large group therapy session conducted by the seasoned psychologist, Dr. Linda Blythe. The focus was on communication and healthy conversations. While sitting at the meeting, John kept a close watch on Rebecca. Afterward, he walked her back to her room and maintained the one-sided conversation. That was a great session. Dr. Blythe is the best we have here. She does an excellent job. She's written a few books and has great insight. Really makes you think. So, what stood out to you? Rebecca remained silent. After long seconds passed, he continued. I like the part about saying, I felt sad when you did this, instead of, you make me sad. That was a good point she made, separating someone's actions from who they are. I find your sessions right on, but this was definitely one of the better ones. What did you think? She looked at him with an angry stare. John carried on his conversation. Well, I was impressed. Lots of good information. Anyway, here's your room. I hope you know, Rebecca, you can talk to me about anything, anytime. He smiled at her, but she avoided his eyes and walked into her room. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow, John said. He turned to leave, but her voice stopped him. Wait. Relief ran through his body. Yes? She stepped back into the hallway and faced him. Why do you keep trying to take Robert away? Why do you think that? Her arms shielded the bundle. You try and take him from me. At times it may seem to you that I do. Then why do you do it? John nodded. A grin crossed his lips. I'm glad you're talking with me, Rebecca. You're communicating. That's good. Why do you try and take him? He looked past her into her room toward the window. Sometimes he waited, searching for the right words. Then he looked back at the green eyes waiting, and those thin arms stiff around the bundle. Sometimes I want to know Rebecca without her baby. She stepped back, her feet pausing in the doorway. But Robert is a part of me. I know, but I'd like to see you separate from him sometimes. No. Her whole body shook at her refusal. I'm not here to hurt Robert, John said. Well, it hurts me when you keep trying to take him. I'm not trying to hurt you. John leaned slightly toward the doorframe. His voice dropped to a calm whisper. I'm trying to help you. Do you understand that? I'm here to support you and assist you, so you can get better. She looked at the bundle in her arms. You'll help me if you leave Robert alone. So, he took a step back closer to the center of the hall. This is why you've been upset? Yes, I want you to stop. Rebecca, I'm proud of you. He nodded and offered her an encouraging smile. You communicated with me. This was a positive action, very appropriate. You did a good job. Are you going to try to take Robert again? No. His smile grew. I won't. Promise? You have my word. But I would hope that in some of our sessions you could put Robert aside, so that together we can learn more about Rebecca. But you won't take Robert away? That's right. I won't. Thank you. She gave him a quick smile, then slipped into her room. Thank you for talking to me, he said as she disappeared from his view. You're doing well, Rebecca. The shrilling sound of a ringing phone. Was that what it was? The high-pitched noise sounded again, calling him out of his sleep. The clock on the nightstand read 4:30 a.m. Still in a foggy daze, he picked up the receiver. Hello? Sanders. It's Gary. Sorry to call at such an awful hour, but you need to come up here. What? Where? Here, at the hospital. Dr. Landerson talked fast. I know it's early. It's just that it's Rebecca. Her name chased away his grogginess. Is she okay? She's fine, I think. I don't know. She's been throwing things, tearing her room apart, calling for you. Can you come? John rose from his bed and headed toward his closet. I'll be right there. It's been a terrible night. Horrible problems with the 4th floor. 2 hours ago, the night doctor called me in to see what I could do, but you get one group riled up, then it's dominoes. I'm coming. He grabbed a freshly pressed shirt, then some khakis. Been trying to get this place back in order. Almost had things cooled down. Insane night. It's one thing after another. There's too much going on. Need to take care of a few more things, but you'll come? Yes. John added shoes to his pile. I'm on my way. 30 minutes later, John met Dr. Landerson coming out of Rebecca's room. How is she? She was sitting in her closet, afraid of me. He rubbed at his red eyes. But I got her out, and she's calmed down some. His voice carried his exhaustion. I think she'll be okay. I need to make a final check with the guys upstairs. John glanced up. What happened there? One of them got a hold of some matches, set one of the mattresses on fire. Sprinklers went off. No big deal. We had fire alarms going off. Had to evacuate some of the floors. Anyway, all this activity caused a few of the residents on the 4th floor to get riled up. Had a couple violent acts. John released a sigh. Sounds bad. We think we might have one broken arm and a few broken ribs. We've sent them to the emergency room. All this activity leads to unmanageable stress. Everybody's psychosis becomes magnified. Anyway, I'm still in the building for another 10 minutes if you need anything. Dr. Landerson turned toward the hall, only to turn back and nod at Rebecca's door. You got this? John's hand tightened around the doorknob. Yeah. He opened the door. Rebecca sat on the bed with her knees and arms pulled toward her chest. Her hair was tangled, falling over her face, her cheeks stained with tears. Dr. Sanders. She swallowed for air and the crying resumed. What's going on, Rebecca? I lost my baby. He's right there. John motioned to the bundle on the opposite side of the bed. That's not Robert. The crying intensified, turning into a haunting yell. What? While I was sleeping, you... Rebecca, stop. He pulled the chair from the table area and set it down near her bed. You can't tell me while you're like this. He sat down close. You need to calm down first. She struggled with each breath. I can't. Whatever it is, you're okay. Take a moment and relax. Think about something positive. Focus on your breathing. Let's get things under control, and then you can explain. John leaned against the chair, holding his breath, observing her efforts of gulps and breaths until after a few minutes, her crying had lessened and only residual whimpering remained. While I was sleeping, you took my Robert from... She stopped to breathe. From me. When I woke up, he was gone. Where did you take my baby? What are you talking about? She screamed in pain. "Rebecca, stop that." He leaned forward and pointed at the bundle, afraid to touch it. "Your baby is right here." She refused to look. "That's not Robert." "Rebecca, it is. It's always been." She looked up at him with great pleading in her eyes. "Where did you take Robert?" "Rebecca, I didn't." Her cries were stronger again. "He's all I have. Don't take him. He's all I have. Please, please don't take him." "Robert's just a piece of your—" He couldn't find the word. "No, please, bring him back. Please." At a loss for solutions, he shifted to sit next to her bed. "I'm sorry," he said weakly. Suddenly she moved closer and buried her head into his chest. The moment shocked John. His first reaction was to jump from the bed or at least shift her away. Instead, his arm took on a life of its own and held her as if, somehow, he could protect her, could shield her from this pain. "You're okay, Rebecca," he said softly. "Everything's okay." "Please," she muttered into his shirt. "Please don't take him." "I tried not to," he whispered. "Robert was fine." When she sobbed, her entire small body shook. "Until you came." "It's okay, Rebecca." For a moment she fell quiet, her sobs lessening. Then she shook again. "Robert kept changing. You made him change." Her crying softened. The room fell silent. John's clarity felt lost in a maze. Between his intentionally deep, calm breaths and her internal sobbing, it was almost as if he was rocking her. As soon as John felt she had control again, he moved his arm away. But the movement startled her. "He kept changing. I'm not as close to him. He doesn't want me anymore. After you came, you did it." Tears fell again. "And now I can't find him." He shifted back onto the chair. "You're okay," he whispered. She wrapped her body into the fetal position and leaned back against the wall, her arms clutching her chest. Needs me. I need him. He's all I have." John looked across the bed at the bundle. It had unrolled and appeared twisted, distorted, as if it had been thrown. The bundle, which had been everything to her, appeared now to possess no meaning. This was progress. But why did it feel so difficult to witness? He stayed with her until her crying turned into exhausted sighs and her body gave in to sleep.